morning to one and all present here. On behalf of Geeta Radhana International Business School, I extend warm welcome to everyone gathered for Juris Date 4, important academic initiative aimed at fostering critical legal thinking and contemporary criminal law discourse. GIFT stands tall for its commitment to academic excellence, innovative teaching, and a learner-centric vision. As an institution known for strong management and law programs, it continues to mold students into responsible, ethical, and socially concise professionals. Here at GIFT, we are dedicated to nurturing intellectual curiosity and creating an environment where academic inquiry meets practical understanding. Our mission is to provide students with the legal acumen and analytical skill necessary not only for professional success but also for contributing meaningfully to justice delivery and legal reform. It is affiliated with Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, Delhi, and approved by All India Council for Technical Education, Ministry of HRD, Government of India for Technical Course, and the Bar Council of India for Law Courses. The institute conducts various courses named MBA, BBA, and MBA Integrated, BBA Journal, both first and second shift, BBA LLB Integrated, BA LLB Integrated, and LLM. GIFT has been graded A by the National Assessment and Accreditation Council in its third cycle. As one of the national capital's leading business schools, GIFT bring together people, culture, and ideas from around the corner to change lives and to transform organizations. Today's theme, revisiting the death penalty and life imprisonment in light of India's new criminal codes, reflect a pressing and a significant area of legal reform. With the introduction of Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita and related criminal law reforms, India has entered a transformative phase in criminal jurisprudence. The re-evaluation of sentencing principle, proportionality, reformation, and the continued relevance of capital punishment demand serious academic engagement. This theme invites us to reflect upon fundamental questions. What is the purpose of punishment? Does capital punishment align with constitutional morality? How does life imprisonment operate within the framework of new criminal code? What balance must be struck between deterrence, retribution, and reform? It is my great honor and privilege to introduce our esteemed resource person, Honorable Mr. Justice Rajesh Tandon. Justice Rajesh Tandon is a distinguished jurist known for his clarity of reasoning, deep understanding of constitutional principles, and commitment to justice. His judicial expressions and scholarly engagement with criminal jurisprudence make him exceptionally suited to guide us through this complex and sensitive subject. Serves insight into sentencing philosophy, constitutional safeguards, and evolving criminal law. Stands will undoubtedly provide us with a deeper and a balanced understanding of the debate surrounding the death penalty and life imprisonment in contemporary India. To express our respect and warm welcome, I now invite Dr. Afzal Wani to kindly come forward for the green welcome of our distinguished guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Rajesh Tandon. I now humbly request Honorable guest to kindly take the stage and enlighten us with his valuable insight on revisiting sentencing principle under India's new criminal code. Sir, the stage is all yours.
Mr. Abdul Wani ji, who is just like my guru, and I am happy that such a good college and degree college has been established by Mr. Wani ji. Mr. Jyoti Singh ji, the director of this, the head of the department of the law, and all the students who are present here. The topic of today, whosoever goes for life imprisonment or death penalty, they have all a cry of the human rights and Article 19, 21 and Article 14 of the Constitution. In so many matters, there has been a cry that the death penalty is against the human rights. It violates the principles of human rights. When in 1946-47, when our constitution was by Dr. Ambedkar was formed, at that time Article 21 was enacted, which provides life, liberty and equality of the individual. The life is being taken as a life of the humanity, and everybody thinks even a culprit, offender who has done any crime thinks that it is his life to secure it. The preamble of the Constitution also provided life, liberty, fraternity and further dignity of the individual. The word dignity has come up for interpretation in so many judgments. Thereafter, in 1993, when Human Rights Protection Act was introduced, then the word dignity has been separately enacted under Section 2D of the Protection of Human Rights Act, which provided life, liberty and dignity of the individual. The dignity word has come up from the preamble of the Constitution and also from the protection of human rights. The question arises whether the dignity of the individual is important or the public terror is important, because once a crime is committed, then there has to be a terror in the society so as to stop the crimes which are being happening. I tell you one story. When I was a judge, a heinous crime came up where a 5-year girl has suffered the extreme rape, and then her neck was also strangulated. The district judge has given the death penalty. The interpretation of human rights was always have been stated by the advocates, but the question arises as to whether it was rarest of the rare cases. The doctrine of rarest of the rare cases has been interpreted, which I will tell before you, in various judgments of the Supreme Court, where the word has been defined as rarest of the rare cases. The argument was that it can be converted into life imprisonment. But it was such a crime that it not only rape, but the murder with strangulation has become the rarest of the rare cases. And therefore, the death penalty was imposed. If you look to the new section, new act, that is Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, and the old CRPC, every death penalty has to be confirmed by the High Court. Only then death penalty can be imposed. Article 368 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, old, or the new section, that is 409. Why I say both? Because nowadays only old CRPC are remembered. But when you will go for competition, you have to explain the new act, that is Bharatiya Nagarik Sanhita. And you must have a knowledge of both the provisions, that is old act and the new act. The new act provides power of High Court to confirm sentence or annual conviction in any case submitted under section 407. The High Court may confirm the sentence or pass any order, sentence warranted by law, may annul the conviction and convict the accused of any offence of which the Court of Session might have convicted him, or order a due trial or the same on the amended charge. Or the C, class C is there, may acquit the accused person. Both the powers are there. Therefore, before reading the CRPC and Bharatiya Nagarik Sanhita, you must have an idea of what is the death sentence, how it is imposed, what is the rarest of the rare cases where death penalty is imposed, and whether it gets the finality from the Session Court or it has to be confirmed from the High Court. These are the basic principles which you have to keep in mind while studying the criminal law. Now when I come to some provisions of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, where the death penalty has been imposed under section 103, that is punishment for murder, that is Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023. Have you gone through this new act or not? Anyone of you? Not yet. क्या इनके कोर्स में ओल्ड पढ़ाई जाती है क्या?
सर एक्चुअली अभी रिकॉल नहीं होगा, वैसे पढ़ा तो है इन्होंने। As per the syllabus, we are teaching new BLS.
नया नहीं पढ़ाया अभी,
Sir,
पढ़ा नहीं
पढ़ा
नया पढ़ा नहीं
पढ़ रहे हैं।
Sir, 4 semester.
That is why I am citing before you the new act, because old had gone away, and that is section 103 of the Bharati Nyaya Sanhita. Whoever commits murder shall be punished with death or imprisonment for life, and shall also be liable to fine. Therefore, punishment is either imprisonment of life or death. Now that has to be interpreted according to the evidence, circumstantial evidence or direct evidence, or now new Saksh Adhiniyam has come up, which provides the primary evidence is the electronic evidence. Electronic evidence has become now the primary evidence under the new Bharati Saksh Adhiniyam, that is New Indian Evidence Act. In Dehradun, there was a matter going on where the electronic evidence shows something, circumstantial evidence shows something. You must have seen in the newspaper that lot of agitations are going on, and electronic evidence is being taken as a primary evidence. Therefore, while interpreting the death, you have to see circumstantial evidence, direct evidence, or electronic evidence, both three evidences. And then you have to decide as to whether death penalty has to be imposed or the only life imprisonment can be only settled. Now, further said, when a group of 5 or more persons acting in concert commits murder on the ground of race, caste, community, sex, place of birth, language, personal belief, or any other similar ground, each member of such group shall be punished with death or with imprisonment for life, and shall also be liable to fine. Then the punishment for the offense of murder shall be death. In one of the judgment in 1973, the question was raised with regard to the sentence of death. Then the Supreme Court has said that neither it is violative of Article 14, neither it is violative of Article 19 or 21 of the Constitution of India. Thereafter, it has been stated that death penalty can be imposed. That was the judgment of Jagmohan Singh versus State of UP. Jagmohan Singh versus State of UP, 1973 Supreme Court, page 947. That was the judgment. Thereafter, that discussion has started as to whether Article 21 hits death penalty or not. The question arose that Article 21 only safeguards to some extent and not with regard to the only criminals who has got the rarest of the rare cases. And then there was a judgment of the Supreme Court. You must have heard the case of Nirbhaya case. That was a very popular case, Nirbhaya case. and in that judgment various principles of the rarest of the rare and how the death sentence are being awarded, that has been discussed in very thoroughly. आज हमारा क्रिमिनल लॉ इस पर बेस्ड हो गया है कि अगर हम उसको सजा नहीं देते हैं तो नतीजा क्या होगा कि हमारी सोसाइटी के प्रति हम विश्वास दाव नहीं कर सकते। हमें सोसाइटी के प्रति विश्वास रखना है जिससे कि हम कल्प्रिट को सजा दे सके, अच्छी से अच्छी सजा दे सके। आज के जमाने में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा है द प्रिंसिपल रीजंस फॉर कंफर्मिंग द डेथ पेनल्टी इंक्लूड द क्रूअल, brutal and gruesome nature of crime. All these things are there which has happened in the matter of Dhananjay Chaturvedi. ये इसको रेफर किया गया है, बहुत सारे केसेस हैं। जब कभी आप डेथ पेनल्टी के बारे में पढ़ें तब आप इस जजमेंट को जरूर पढ़ें जिससे कि आपको एक गाइडलाइन मिलेगी कि what is the proposition of death penalty and what will be proposition of imprisonment for life. निर्भया के केस में एक और वर्ड मैंने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले बताया था कि हर आदमी आजकल डिग्निटी की बात करता है। इस निर्भया के केस में भी सवाल उठाया गया था डिग्निटी के बारे में। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा है we have a responsibility to set good values and guidance for posterity. In the words of great scholar Swami Vivekananda, the best thermometer to the progress of nation is its treatment of its women. Crime against women not only affects women's self-esteem and dignity, but also degrades the peace of social development. I hope that this incident in the capital and death of this young woman will be an eye-opener for a mass movement to end violence against women and respect for women and her dignity, and sensitizing public at large on gender justice. ये सारी चीजें इसमें आप पढ़िएगा, विशाखा वाला केस पढ़िए या चाहे निर्भया वाला केस पढ़िए, ये सारी आपको ह्यूमन राइट्स के बारे में, डिग्निटी के बारे में, आर्टिकल 21 के बारे में, ये सारे चैप्टर इसमें दिए हुए हैं। और वो डिग्निटी के बारे में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जितना इन सब केसेस में जिक्र किया है उस सब से आपको पढ़ने के लिए आपको प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स एक्ट में भी, आर्टिकल 21 में भी, सब में मदद मिलेगी इन सब जजमेंट्स के कारण। एवरी इंडिविजुअल irrespective of his gender must be willing to assume the responsibility in fight for gender justice and also awaken public opinion on gender justice. Public at large, in particular men, ought to be sensitized on gender justice. The battle for gender justice can be won only with a strict implementation of legislative provision. हम जेंडर जस्टिस तभी पा सकते हैं जबकि हमारे लेजिस्लेचर का सही पालन हो। लेजिस्लेचर का पालन क्या है कि अगर हमारे 103 में या 302 में डिफाइन किया गया है तो उसको हमको पनिशमेंट इम्पोज करना है। अगर पनिशमेंट इम्पोज करना है तो दैट विल बी ए रियल जस्टिस विद द पर्सन एट लार्ज एंड ऑल्सो विद द सोसाइटी। The battle for gender justice can be won only with the strict implementation of legislative provisions, sensitization of public, taking other proactive steps at all levels for combating violence against women and ensuring widespread attitude changes and comprehensive change in the existing mindset. We hope that this incident will pave the way for the same. निर्भया के केस को उन्होंने कहा कि हमारा भारतीय नागरिक सुरक्षा आया है, नया जो आईपीसी आया है, सब में रेप के प्रोविजंस में डेथ पेनल्टी दी गई है. तो why it should not be imposed when it is there? Then if it is the rarest of the rare cases, it should be imposed. ये सारी बातें कही गई हैं और उसका क्रिमिनल जस्टिस यही कहता है कि हमें लेजिस्लेटिव का पालन करना है, जो लेजिस्लेचर में दिया है उसका पालन करना है. बहुत सारे जजमेंट्स ऐसे हैं जिसमें कि रेयरेस्ट ऑफ द रेयर केसेस के बारे में डिफाइन किया गया है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने एक और जजमेंट में कहा है, स्टेट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र है, रिगार्डिंग सेंटेंस वी वुड हैव concurred with the Sessions Court view that the extreme penalty of death can be chosen for such a crime. However, as the accused was once acquitted by the High Court, we refrain from imposing that extreme penalty in spite of the fact this case is such and covered. But the present case is such that it imposes a death penalty. Normal rule is that the offence of murder shall be punished with the sentence of life imprisonment. The court can depart from that rule and impose the sentence of death only if there are special circumstances, special reasons for doing so, and that reasons have to be taken from the circumstantial evidence, from all the evidence which are available on the record. And therefore our submission to all the students is that please read all the judgments and see that how the law prescribes for death penalty, how the law prescribes for life imprisonment. Before you, I am putting the definition of the crime and also how the rarest of the crime has been defined everywhere. In one of the judgment, that is of 1984 Supreme Court cases, there is one paragraph which is very important, and that paragraph shows how these sentences are being awarded. Death sentence or the life imprisonment. The sordid episode of the scrutiny guard, whose scared duty was to ensure the protection and welfare of the inhabitants of flats in the apartment, should have subjected to disease, and the judgment of one Bachan Singh has been referred in this judgment of Dhananjay Chaturvedi, and that judgment has been stated the offence was not only inhuman and barbaric, but it was a totally ruthless crime of rape followed by cold-blooded murder and an affront to the human dignity of the society. Now, comparing to the human dignity, you have to give punishment according to the court, according to the crime which has been committed before you, and therefore all the decisions are very important for you. There are mitigating circumstances whatsoever. We agree that a real and abiding concern for the dignity of human life is required to be kept in mind by the courts while considering the confirmation of the sentence of death but a cold-blooded, brutal murder, and that has to be taken as the rarest of the rare cases for all the concerned. And these are the propositions which have been described by the various Supreme Court from time to time, and the Supreme Court also has this mind whether imprisonment of life can do or the death sentence can be, and all this depends upon the nature of the crime that has been committed, and all these things vary from circumstantial evidence and all that, and the rarest of the rare cases has to be looked into by the courts of law. What the rarest of the rare cases, that has also been defined in various judgments. The word, the rarest of the rare comes when a convict would be a threat to the harmonious and peaceful coexistence of the society. The crime may be heinous or brutal, but may not be a category. Only request the students to go through the judgments of the Supreme Court and the various provisions of the code, Indian Penal Code, New Nagrik Sanhita and all that. You should read it. And in the end, I will say, one of the greatest authors has said, violence against women is perhaps the most shameful human rights violation. And it is perhaps the most pervasive. It knows no boundaries of geography, culture or wealth. As long as it continues, we cannot claim to be making real progress towards equality, development and peace. All these things you have to keep in mind, and against the women, all the Vishaka case or
Words, thought-provoking insights, and for enriching us with a deep understanding of human rights. To honor our esteemed guests, I request Professor Dr. Afzal Wani to kindly present a memento of appreciation to honorable guests as a token of gratitude from Geeta Rattan International Business School. Conclusion of this meaningful and enlightening event, it's my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks. On behalf of GIPS, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Mr. Justice Rajesh Tandon for sharing his valuable knowledge, experience and deep insights into human law. Sir, your words have truly inspired us and strengthened our understanding of this particular domain. I also express my sincere thanks to our respected director, faculty members and the organizing committee for their support and guidance in making Juris Day 4 a success. A special appreciation to all the students for their active participation and display throughout the event. Lastly, thank you to everyone present here for contributing that energy, seriousness and purpose of today's session. Wishing you all a very wonderful day ahead.